So I just learned that my recordings stop at an hour on their own, which is a pretty good thing. But anyways, what I was saying was, this is part 2, obviously, is that how I can empathize with Kanye. I want to give that same consideration and try to empathize with white people and understand that they don't know everything. They don't know everything about black people. I feel like and this is something new that I've had a revelation about, is they suffered too, like in ways that may be unknown to us right now, because we never sought to like really analyze how slavery and just the history of America has affected white people and their psyche. But I believe it's had effect. We know it's had effects. That's why racism is still around. But we're gonna rise above that. And what I'm gonna do is try to understand that we've all been through this history of America together, and people like Donald Trump, I'm gonna at least hear them out, and if they say something that offended me, I'm just not gonna sweat the small stuff, because I'm sure I'm gonna say things that offend people, and I'm not trying to, it's just I'm not perfect. Yeah, I'm not being nasty. Yeah, I said a little something that offends you. I'm just don't sweat the small stuff. And I ask that. And I'm not even asking, I'm demanding white people need to do the same for black people. Maybe there's things that black people don't know. I know that as far as income wise, blacks are at the bottom of the totem pole, but I don't like to forget about Native Americans too. So because the reality is there are more rich white people need to understand, as far as economics, and when you hear people talking about taxes, give money to this, give money to that, stop coming off so harsh and mean and nasty about that type of stuff. Understand that maybe people in lower income don't really understand that, just like you don't understand what they're going through. So let's stop prejudging each other, thinking we really understand when you ain't never been in each other's shoes. That's all I'm really trying to say. And I'm pretty sure I can go on more trying to explain this, but I'm done talking about it for now. And whoever was meant to receive that, I hope you received it. And if somebody has a question about what I was just trying to explain, leave a comment. Now I'm gonna make another video going voice diary going more in depth about this, but to touch on it real quick, I don't agree with Kanye around 337.50 when he's just the way he sees it right now is being reminded of slavery constantly. Why you always got to make these movies about us being slaves, about us running for our freedom, about us getting beat and during the civil rights era. At the same time, maybe I wonder if he thinks, because he didn't mention that, but he mainly was talking about slaves. And I understand where he's coming from. And like I said, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet, and make another diary about it, because it's something that I have a lot more I kind of want to say in reference to it. But I don't agree with him on not talking about those things. What I would like to see is them being talked about in a different light, in a different way. I'm tired of slavery being presented as some type of like shame when you talk about where black people ended up at, or the fact that the way we dance and the way we do this, the way we look. I'm tired of us, and black people, y'all know in your heart what I'm talking about. Growing up, looking at mixed girls or looking at white girls thinking you wish your hair was like that, or looking at them, or even other people talking about each other hair and clothes and stuff like that, and just the shame, like always the shame that came behind what, like, I'm tired of, let's turn that shame into empowerment, because that's what it is. We are resilient. We overcame so much, fought in wars, the revolution, the American Revolution, the Civil War, Korean War, you name it, all the wars, we done fought in them. So people need to start, well, the history books need to start acknowledging that more as well, and not just having a damn sentence about it. But yeah, so that it ain't no shame. Ain't no shame. It's empowerment. Empowerment. That's how I see where I came from. And like I said, I want to see African Americans, we need to get more specific on creating our own culture. But like I said, I'm not gonna get into that conversation today, and I probably already said too much. But pretty much, I don't agree with him on, I understand where it's coming from, because I felt shame, but I want to turn that shame into empowerment. That's all I'm really trying to say right now in reference to showing slavery stuff. And they also need to show more rebellions. And I feel like they need to be more honest about the brutality of it too. More specific about what actually was going on. Just to show even more of what we rose above and continue to rise above. Okay, and yeah, immediately after this, when he started talking at 3:38:37, when he started talking about they let you talk about slavery because it's safe thing to talk about. One thing, like I said, I believe the whole outlook of how it's presented needs to be changed, and it needs to be told more as not a sad story, but a story of resilience, a story of overcoming, a story of strength of mind and body to endure all that emotional, not to mention everything that happened in the years to follow. So anyways, and things that continue to happen. So I think the whole way it's presented needs to be changed, but I do agree with him about how it's safe right now, because, and part of the reason why it's safe is because how it's presented. And yeah, at the same time, I want to see it talked about in the way that I've just been saying, and I also want to see like what he's talking about, the entrepreneurs. They're like all our heroes, all our people that have done, black people that have done things in this success. It's not just Barack. There's other ones that's not being talked about. You know, even in history books and just in general. So yeah, I agree with him on this part. We need to talk about both. And yeah, maybe put even a little more emphasis on the newer successful ones. I wouldn't be opposed to that, because the urgency of building up economics in the black community is dire. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. Okay, this is honestly not important to me because it's like more of a pop culture thing to me, but maybe there is importance in how Kanye responded to it, and there is a sense of philosophy there that I think is important to try to apply to my life and by extension our lives. Around 39, 55, and that's all I'm gonna really say about this whole situation. I guess I don't know nothing about this. I didn't hear about it to the interview. He's been the person that he was working with, this Virgil guy that been with him since the beginning, I guess he's recently got a deal at Louis Vuitton, and he went to work there, and Charlemagne's asking questions like, basically, are you bothered by, are you offended? Dang, well, this dude been down with you, then he betrayed you, blah, blah, blah. Kanye is looking at it from many different angles and looking at it from a place of love, and ultimately from a place strategically knowing that he has an agenda of breaking down certain barriers, and he can see how there's no reason Virgil has only actually furthered his cause. Yeah, things may not have gone how he thought they might have went, but it happened for a reason, and he still is in he's still doing something that Kanye feels is important. And also and that's kind of just looking at a bigger picture sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Looking outside of yourself to come to those type of conclusions and seeing the grand scheme of things. And sometimes it's very important to take a step back and do that, even in everyday instances. So yeah, there's no hate. There's all love for what his friend did, and not only that, not only is it still something he wanted to personally see happen, that's his friend that he loves, so he's happy for his friend's success. So ain't no reason to be mad about it. And at the same time, he did mention how, you know, at this day and age, yeah, like, you gotta go for what's gonna better your life. If I can't give you this, like, if they're paying you more money than what I can give you, then who am I to hold you back? And, you know, I understand that we got this plan, but who's to say what'll happen in the future, you know? And also, I'm not gonna try to be mad and stop you from doing you. Like, I believe and have faith that something that I'm still on the right path. That don't mean we do need to start thinking more about funneling resources that I'm talking about for, like, because I'm telling you now, the reason why things are ran the way they are, meaning politics, government, is because people with like-minded agendas have funneled money into their cause, and they've been able to take steps and do things to make it happen. So at the same time, we need to be aware of, if we have some like-minded, no matter what your agenda to be, start thinking about money pools. If you got a certain candidate that you want to see, like, you want to see a normal person like you and me be an elected official or whatever, as long as they got, you know, credentials, we got to be willing to put our money where our mouth is. So he also gets around to implying that point as well. You know, they're all points to a grander scheme. It's not either this, or it got to be this or that. They're both important. Letting Virgil go do his thing, and also remembering that you need to build something with like-minded people. And if you have a goal of changing a type of industry or a culture, which is what Kanye's goal is. I hope that makes sense. Okay, around 41, 47, he starts to talk about self-preservation, and he also starts to talk about how he just wants to get a message out. I'm not really gonna, hopefully, you know, if you're still listening at this point, I don't know if some people may have tuned in or not, but I recommend that you listen to all three parts, the 2013 interview and this, to really tie in the full, if you're not understanding what I'm saying, what I'm about to say about, hopefully through these videos, if you've listened to them, that you understand that when he's talking about getting his message out, that's literally what he means, is getting that message out is still more important than everything else. Now, as far as him touching on the self-preservation, what comes to mind when I hear something like that, it just reminds me of, I still need to have the courage and the confidence and the spirit to do what I need to do. And it reminds me that I also, there is no fairy utopia, Disneyland utopia that people think is gonna happen. Well, at least me, I don't think that's gonna happen. I know there's people out there that's gonna be in opposition, because there are people, even everyday people, who like the status quo, who are comfortable in what's going on. So they're gonna be very against and resistant to a change, especially as drastically as what Kanye is talking about. And so but what I need to do is understand and understand that those type of people are out there, and not everybody is gonna feel the same way I feel about having a common goal of changing our future and getting off this old train we're on, whatever. There's going to be strong opposition to that. People trying to preserve what they're comfortable in. And I just need to know that those people are out there, and understand that I still need to go as hard as I need to go. Yeah, and he even said a little bit how somebody, like especially older people, do get real passionate about self-preservation, just because they don't know no better. They're just comfortable. They're used to what they've been having. Now, that leads me to talk a little bit about another concept I have about entrusting the future to our children. The children are the next generations. And I'm not going to go deep into this. It's something that I really admire about some Asian cultures, about how they put so much into the children. And I see it with like anime too. No, I don't think any nation is perfect, but I do think there's things we can learn from each other's nations in different respects and regards. So that's one thing I love, how they put everything into the children, who are the future. And I feel like in America, we have this thing that where the old generations, they even got some, they don't want to entrust the future to the children. They're scared. Like they don't want to trust the children. And it makes me wonder, like, if you can't trust the children you raise, the future generations, well, hell, how did you raise them then? Did you truly raise them the right way? Or is that what you worried about? Is that why you can't trust them? I mean, I don't know. You know, I'm not a doctor. I don't have some degree on this. So I'm not saying that I'm right, but I do think I am making some points. Like, why are you you didn't raise these kids right if you can't entrust the future to them. But I hope that going forward, and I'll mention this in my introduction, but I'm a millennial. I'm 27, and I hope my generation starts living from a point of wanting to actively and consciously entrust our future to our children, and we start raising them that way. Well, this is about 43:10 in, and Kanye said the element of the black celebrity in America. I don't really know what he meant by that, but he was saying how he's seen the black people in the hospital, and it felt like his family, like a tribe. And as much as he want to look at the human race as one race, which it is, and he knows it is too. There is an element of, I have a bond with these people that look like me, like more in depth, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, and I wonder if that's just an American thing, of growing up in America. If you're from a different country and you're listening to this, let me know, like, do you see people on your continent from different countries as your brothers and sisters? Because y'all don't look alike. Y'all don't all look alike, but sometimes you may favor more. So as far as in America, things are a lot about skin color. So in other countries, when y'all pretty much had the same skin color or whatever, but very different cultures, is that what y'all pretty much just base it off culture? You don't feel any type of brotherly connection to that person just because they look like you? I'm just curious if that's just an American thing, because we're so mixed here. So that's why just by somebody looking like us, we can feel that bond with them, despite if we grew up like West Coast, East Coast, North, South, whatever. We still feel a bond with that person. And I wanted to say that also, to say that yes, we're all one human race, but there's nothing wrong with being attracted to somebody of your same race. There's nothing wrong with like, oh, I'm just attracted to people who are black or have dark skin, or I'm just attracted to people who are white or have lighter skin. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't feel like there needs to be some type of agenda to try to tell people that, oh, you're racist if you don't date outside your race, or blah, blah, blah. Now, what I don't agree with is saying things like, oh, I don't like such and such just because all of them are this way or all of them are that way. Now, I don't agree with that, and I do believe there's prejudice tied into that type of belief. But as far as just what you find attractive and beautiful and pretty, there's nothing racist about that, if those are truly your reasons and not because of some stereotypes that you have of that person. Because at the end of the day, we do connect because of the likeness sometimes between people, whether it be sometimes it's both spiritually, physically, whatever. I mean, there's a lot of details to that. I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with dating people within your own race, as long as it's not because you have stereotypes against the other race that you don't find attractive. Because there is a sense of unity based off the way we look, especially here in America. That's my point. And not just the way we look, our shared experience, especially from slavery. And even, white people's shared experience of leaving Europe and coming over here, Native Americans' shared experience of everything they've been through. Koreans, Chinese, their shared experiences. So attraction does happen because of shared experiences. I guess that's really a better way of even saying that. Saying everything else I just said. Okay, at 45:14 and when they're talking about meeting with Donald Trump, and Kanye says racism isn't the deal breaker for me, and Charlemagne says that's some rich nigga shit. So I want to put this in a simple way for the way I've took it. When he says that's not the deal breaker for me, is because the reality is us black people have been living in this quote unquote racist society for all this time. I mean, yeah, it wasn't until I was grown and out of high school, like I interacted with white people in high school, but I didn't interact with the most white people until after I was into my adult life. And, you know, like I said, I'm pretty sure I've come across racist ones, prejudiced ones, because I do know there's a difference between racism and prejudice. So, but in these days, it's kind of turned into everything's just called racism. So, anyways, that's what he means. We've been operating in it. We've been operating in it, but we've been letting it chain us, like sometimes wondering, okay, was that racist, or did such and such do this, or did they not hire me because of this, or I'm just so tired of this racist system. What he said is let's not even, we know it's there, but let's stop giving it so much attention. Let's stop focusing on it. And one of the things is because we don't feel like, many of us don't feel like, and even if I'm not speaking, I'm not the spokesperson for black people. So I'm going to just say, I don't feel like, and I'm pretty sure other black people can relate, that a lot of white people realize that racism still exists, or that there are other racist white people. I've been in close contact, very close contact with, and I'm going to just let anybody in on, like, I'm going to just uncover the truth. And if anybody disagrees, leave a comment. Don't mean I'm going to agree with you. Don't mean I'm going to think you're telling the truth. It just all depends on how you come off, or, you know, or in the entirety of what you say. But I'm going to just go ahead and unveil this truth, that I've been in close contact with white people for the past, like, going on 6 years. And even personal and work-wise. And white people, there's a lot of white people that know other white people are racist, because they're comfortable in saying it to each other. They just don't say it around black people or minorities. And sometimes, depending on how you carry yourself as a black person, they'll even say it around you. You know, ones that, there's different reasons why, but I'm gonna just say, depending on how you carry yourself as a black person, they will be openly racist with you as well, or sometimes they just won't even care. But most of the time, I'm finding that many white people have had racist encounters with other white people. So they know that white people can be racist. I don't know, and maybe a white person can elaborate on this for me. I don't know if they think that, oh, well, I only encountered one or two that said something racist, so it's not that many. I mean, those one or twos add up. But anyways, but the veil is off. We know y'all know. And I feel like a lot of the times, I personally would harp on racism so much because I felt like white people didn't want to acknowledge that it still exists and acknowledge the effects that it has had. You know, in a way, Kanye is almost saying, damn their acknowledgement. Damn the acknowledgement. You know, I ain't even worried. I don't need you to acknowledge racism. I know it's there. Deep down, I know you know it's there. But you know what? We just finna get shit popping. We finna turn up on it. And that's what's about to happen. That's what's about to happen. So, yeah, I'm just giving insight to one of the reasons why I think a lot of black people focus on racism is because a lot of white people, and not just only white people, I mean, even other folks that aren't affected, other minorities who aren't affected by it, like black people are affected by it, deny that it exists. And to be honest with you, I feel like minorities, some who have been here for a long time, but many who have not even been here as long as Native Americans, blacks, and some whites, because a lot of whites immigrated over here in the 20s and, you know, beginning of the 21st century. But anyways, Yeah, so the minorities, like, don't try to tell black people what exists and what don't exist. Especially, like, I know you're a minority and minorities do experience things too. Black people experience things on a different scale. That's just what it is. But to conclude what I was just saying, I think that's why, because it's constantly denied. That's why we harp on it. That's why I harp on it a lot. I feel, and just in a short, simple, a big short reason, and one of the big reason that's first come to mind is because it's denied so much when I know that it's a reality. Oh yeah, so yeah, just to tie that in back neatly into the package, about racism not being a deal breaker. That's why, because we've been living in it and we've been dealing with it already. So is it really the deal breaker? I mean, we've been functioning in it knowing that there are people out there already that are racist, and we still been functioning in it. So let's function in it at a higher degree, on a bigger scale. Yeah. And I just want to make this clear that functioning in that does not mean that the effects of it aren't gonna sometimes surface, like in a unwarranted killing or being profiled, like at the Starbucks thing or something like that. Those things are still gonna happen. But if we begin to focus more on the functioning more than the racism, maybe the functioning will get us to a place where when that racism does rear its ugly head, we can better do something about it. I think that's really what he is trying to get at. Now, let me just break this down, especially when he starts getting into 40, 46, 45 about Obama having essentially be the perfect black president. And that's a reality. He wouldn't have got elected if he wasn't the perfect black president. So Obama didn't do, and I'm gonna just go ahead and put this out there. Kanye ain't the black person to say Obama didn't do nothing different. Different black people got their reasons why they felt like Obama didn't do anything. I wasn't the type of person. I knew damn well Obama wasn't finna come out and be like, "Oh, I'm doing this for the black community," blah blah blah. Hell, he would have got impeached if he would have did anything straightforward for the black community. I do believe he did some things that helped, and I'm not going to get into those things right now. But overall, like, I guess what I was looking to see is better schools, better reform with the criminal justice system, better programs to help better the relationship between, actually mend the relationship, because it's a broken relationship and it's been broke for a long time for good reasons. Men start mending the relationship with lower income communities and the police and law enforcement. So those are the things that I didn't see happening. And I had other reasons why. So I didn't vote for Obama second term. I didn't. Do I wish I would have? I don't know, but I didn't vote for him. And I think from Kanye's opinion, he felt like Obama, and I agree with that too. Obama had to be perfect. He couldn't do this and do that like Trump could. Trump has opened the door. Hell, I hope we get a president with a beard and long hair or something, some locks. But anyways, oh yeah, so this was my greater point, was where he was saying that some people, sometimes you got to be radical to really affect change in establishment that are so deeply rooted as many are here in America and in the world, and specifically to what the establishment he's trying to change. Sometimes you do have to be radical, and we've seen that throughout history. And not everybody is meant to be that radical person. Sometimes we're just meant to help, or we're meant to do things in our own way. I'm not out here feeling like, I don't even know if will be a radical person. I just know I'm a person with insight and understanding. And I know I'm a creative person that has passion and wants to live that passion as well. So, yeah, not everybody's meant to be a radical. And I think that's pretty much the distinction he was making as far as what Obama's limitations. All right, at about 52:50, real quick, Kanye is talking about giving people freedom to be creatives like him, people who have their own ideas and things that they want to do personally. Hey, who knows? They might end up linking back up in the future after you go do this, you go do that. We bring all our resources back together. So, but what he's saying is he's at peace with that. He's not holding no grudge against you. He's not feeling no type of way. At the same time, yes, there is a goal at hand. As far as it depends on what you're thinking from. Are you thinking from Black economics, Black empowerment, or are you thinking from just in general? I think, and I'm not going to get into this, but I think the money sources can be pulled from other places. They don't necessarily have to be just for quick example, Kanye's friend. If Kanye's friend has a dream that he wants to fulfill also, and Kanye also has help that friend achieve that, and that's very humble. I would feel the same way. Like, if my friend wanted to branch out and do something else, like, I'm not gonna stop you. If anything, I'm gonna root you on. Like, and yeah, you got family, you got bills. It's more than that, and then one thing is trusting in God's plan or whatever you may believe in, that the universe is gonna make whatever happen, even if you branch off for a little while. I mean, God's time is not your time. So he's basically at peace with that. And I would be at peace with it too. And then maybe there's other people in that same moment while my friend's branching off. Maybe there's other people in that same moment that can do this building aspect. I'll just have to find those people. Or when that door opens and I run across them, be prepared and be ready to walk through it. So again, I gotta still do me. Kanye gotta still do Kanye. Okay, I'm about 55:17 in. And Kanye's talking about how he's the best for this time. There will be more after him. There will be more before him. I'm going to just keep this real brief. What he's talking about is living in the moment, living in the now. Yeah, we need to know our past. Yeah, we need to learn from. We need to know and understand our past so we can learn from it. So we can apply it to the now the correct way, to where we're still moving forward. And we damn sure, we as a collective consciousness of human beings, we've been moving forward kind of slow. I'm not going to say that for other countries, because hell, I seen some technology in Japan the other day. I think Kanye shared it. The hologram, handheld hologram. So in America, we definitely need to pick up the consciousness pace. We need to stop all this fooling around, stop being in denial about certain things. All people that's in denial about certain things, whether things that you do, things that other people do, things that we all do that we're in denial about. So we can go ahead and get this ball rolling. I'm going to just throw this out there again. I said it in another video. I don't know if I've uploaded, whatever. I'm just getting into this. So excuse me for going off subject a little bit. But I'm going to just throw this into this as well. Like, I personally believe there's some type of technology that we sitting up here wearing diamonds on our fingers, stuff like that. I don't know if diamond to do it. I'm not a chemist or, yeah, that's the one with the periodic yeah, I know what the hell I'm talking about. Chemist. I'm not a chemist. And I don't know if diamond can really do this, but I think these stones and something like a diamond, while we're wearing it on our finger doing benign things, it might be the key to flying cars or that type of technology, or, you know, the stuff we seen in Xenon. And it might, you can, that kind of let you know what era I was born, early 90s, baby. So, I mean, he's talking about living in the now, learning from your past, understanding it, not being in denial about what happened, so we can fully analyze it, learn from it, and apply it to the now, here, now, and future. He also challenged Charlemagne to think outside of the box of what greatness is. Like, yeah, especially don't stop trying to box people in. He doesn't feel like, just like I don't feel like I'm just capable of only doing one thing my whole life. Yeah, I might be the best at that, just like my cousin Brand, scholar. I'm just gonna throw that out there. And it's like, because you're a scholar, you're a master of whatever your craft is. You know, you can be a scholar of multiple things. So he challenged Charlemagne to think outside the box. Like, some of his icons are idols, but are, you know, Walt Disney, Tesla, people like that. I mean, I to be honest with you, it's getting kind of late. I don't remember exactly what he just said, the people he named off, but different categories are great. Picasso, Michelangelo, them two, they're greats. And rap is poetry. So as far as, yeah, like, we need to start seeing ourselves. I'm talking specifically to Black people right now, seeing ourselves. We are on that level too. Rap is poetry. Maya Angelou, Zora Neale Hurston, they are just up there. They're up there with the Shakespeares as well. Artists, Michelangelo, the people that painted Obama and Michelle's portraits, they're up there with Da Vinci and them. Those things were beautiful. So just about an hour in, a little before an hour, where he's talking about the Beyonce situation and how there's people who would drop negative information in your ear, blah, 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 and people who play that game and aren't, their agenda clearly is not the same as yours. They have their own agenda. So those people exist out there in the world. And basically another thing, what I'm getting from that is also is one of those things that'll drive you crazy when we just like don't speak up. Like, when we know somebody's playing games, we know you playing games, but for whatever reason, we just can't come out and straight up and say it. And sometimes those emotions build over to where blow-ups happen and things end up worse than they could have been if we would have just spoke up from the beginning and been honest about our feelings. So going forward, I think that's what Kanye has realized, and I know that's what I've realized, is that I'm gonna be myself, speak my feelings from a place of love, from a place of wisdom to the best of my ability, because again, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to make an honest effort to try to speak from those places of honesty, wisdom, kindness, meekness, and still say what I'm really feeling, in order to avoid all the heartache on the inside. And to be honest with you, I already feel better doing it. I already feel better. I feel lighthearted. I feel like there's nothing like on me. I'm free, like, for just saying how I feel. And even now, yeah, things haven't gone perfectly. Like, I've had to de-escalate situations so far, between myself and even and somebody else, but nothing physical happened. We just de-escalated through talking and even through separating for a minute so people calm down, but there's an understanding of, we're gonna work this out. And to be honest with you, even if somebody don't have the understanding of they gonna work it out, at least I said what I said. I'm big enough to where I can walk away from you. And but best believe, before we move any further, if you need me again, we gonna work this out before we move forward. But yeah, just to tie this back in with the interview again, I believe that's what, like, going forward. Also, Kanye is going to live from that place of speaking his truth and being honest about his feelings to avoid situations like that. That's why he said, when I see Beyonce, I'll ask her. I didn't ask her. That's what the fear was, not speaking up for how you really feel. That's the fear. This is around an hour. This is still in the same instance, literally the same minute, hour, 1 minute in, when he's talking about being pure, speaking in a stream. I'm just going to make that nice and sweet, to anybody who may not understood that. What he's basically talking about, in the simplest way I can put that, is being honest. Truly trying to be honest about what you're feeling on the inside. But not in a mean, nasty way. I'm being pure. You can't appreciate honesty. You can't appreciate me being honest with you. Right now, I'm talking to you in the stream. I'm just talking to you freely. I'm answering your questions, not trying to strategize or hold anything back, not being embarrassed about what that true answer might be. I'm being honest with you. Oh, yeah. And right after that, Charlemagne again. He says, and maybe this is just the place where Charlemagne is, but he equates it to a Gemini thing. And personally, as you can tell, I feel strongly about some of the same things Kanye does, and I'm far from a Gemini. I'm a Scorpio. I'm actually on a cusp of Libra and Scorpio, if anybody look into it that far to know what cusp are. But I'm a Scorpio, and I feel the same way. So it's not no zodiac thing. It's a human thing. It's a spiritual thing. So this is directly to anybody who's not black that's listening to this. It's about an hour and 2 minutes in. And he said that is talking about Obama and how great he was leaving office, and how it took so much from him, to probably not to mention racism, like, all the time. And that is, I'm not going to get into this, but things have not happened that long ago, in a sense, in a way. And things are still spiritually and genetically in you. Black people, I'm not finna explain this. And if I don't feel like it, I won't. All I'm gonna say is, black people feel strongly about the things that they have experienced. And yes, it does take a lot, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. It takes a lot not to constantly bring it up. Everything we've had to forgive, look past, grow from, get over, move on, try to strive to keep up, try to run this rat race. Like, it takes such a strong person. And within that, yes, because of the communities, the brokenness that it came from, I know there are other people dealing with, and the goal is to help those people too, because yeah, people getting raped, people getting molested and neglected and all kind of stuff. Now imagine that 10 times fold in black communities. So all that's happening while black people are dealing with racism, they're also just dealing with those human things that's happening to everybody as well. To like all humans. So they're dealing with racism and they're just dealing with other human shit that's happening within on top of that. So yeah, it takes a lot. Coming from me personally, it takes a lot not to bring that type of stuff up. So all I'm asking is try to like understand that. If you don't understand it, then that's on you. I'm not begging nobody to understand anything. But if something has moved you in your heart to like the where you can it moved you. I don't know how it could have moved you. If I just said something that moved you to feel like maybe you can take a step back and reconsider some of those aspects, then more power to you. I don't really have anything to elaborate on this, only to say I agree with it and give it the highest regards. And it's something that going forward, I'm going to use as an explanation to people of why we should talk things out more. This is at, an hour and 5 minutes in, and Kanye just, dang, this is like a quote or something. Like it's just so profound, and I feel like he said it perfectly, in my opinion, that sometimes a conversation shows respect for a situation. And actually, I'm gonna let him say it because he said it best. I'm gonna rewind this back real quick.
Hey, I be feeling. I got feelings, bro.
As you see, I'm deaf. Sorry,
bro. I be feeling.
Boyfriend tells me that.
I be feeling a way.
And that's good because these are people that you've assisted and helped them maybe possibly get to the point that they're at. Get there, they don't
No. Pause, because this is not exactly where I want. I'm gonna bring it back in where he was saying it.
Sometimes a conversation can help show respect for a situation. Look, I couldn't do this for these reasons. You know how it is. You see my gray hair. It's crazy out here. I'm the leader of the free world, yeah.
Okay, he was talking about Obama specifically, but that statement was a profound statement within itself, how sometimes a conversation can show respect for a situation. And even though I still feel that I had my feelings and I understand where you're coming from, us talking now can resolve the issue. It resolves it. That's just profound. That's just a profound statement. And it's profound because it's so true. It's like a truth. It's like a universal truth. It's up there with universal truths. And don't take it out of context when like, okay, yeah, if you just killed somebody, then now you want to talk about it now. Yeah, that's not the type of thing I mean with this, okay? So let's not be that critical. So I do like, oh, now it's turning red again. Maybe I've gone too far. I hope not. I just learned something. Sorry, I'm learning on the go here. But anyways, now Charlemagne is, Charlemagne is Charlemagne. But I'm glad he asked these questions that he did about Trump, and Kanye gave clarification. And I do, even though he don't see it in the same sense, I do think that Charlemagne, there's a part of him that when he mentions the fact that he's noticed people are starting to build their own since Trump has taken office, they're doing more building their own. In a way, yeah. I mean, I think that's like something I've noticed even right before. Well, I guess, yeah, that's still right before Trump was running. So, I mean, it was in the air. But yeah, people are building their own. And that also ties into people being themselves as well, embracing themselves. All right. And this is a good stopping point. About an hour and 8 minutes in, when he starts talking about sometimes he's landscaping, and he's even relating it to something literal to try to give you a visual, just like I did in the previous one about with Earth and Industries. But imagine his landscape, his acres, his land, whatever. And he's talking about how you have to break some things before you can get it the way you want to. Instead, you can't just drop a nice house in there without clearing out things that could be ruining the foundation. What I took from that is things that we need to change within the Black community, which we know, we just need to get more serious. More people who feel a type of way about what's going on need to speak up, and speak up to the people who are comfortable in the norm or who oppose it. Have conversations with them or expose them to different things. And to be honest with you, I feel like at the end of the day, it should be a American effort, because we're all Americans, right? But I won't get into that. And sorry for the toot, but I feel passionately about something, especially in relation to issues within the Black community. So you have to break bad habits. Like, you can't just give people, like I said, Obama opioids and think, and all it was a pacifier. Nothing really changed. Nothing got fixed. And there are things that need to be fixed. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't think I need to say any more. Oh yeah, and even further, even on a bigger scale than just Black community, there are things we need to fix in America as well. I mean, even with our class war and our public school education, this is not just Black communities. Rural, I'm also familiar. I'm from South Carolina. I'm in Georgia. I'm familiar with rural white people too. And I mean, I know one rural area where it's nothing, pretty much white people. And the high school, I went to college with somebody that told me they went to high school in this town. I guess that's what I would call it, city, town, I'm not sure. And the school only had one microscope. And I just felt that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Here in America, that we still have schools that one microscope. Then even the other schools I saw in the news were elementary schools up north that don't have central heating. What's up with that? So on those levels, there's things we need to fix on a grander scale as well. And within our other respective communities. Meaning, I'm sure Asians have some things they need to break. White people have some things they need to break. It's not just Black folks that need to fix some things. We all need to fix some things so we can better be Americans. And that's what I'm going to end with. And of course, I'm open to others' opinions and thoughts on my own thoughts, I guess. So peace out. Maybe I'll do a part 2. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of late. And I'm tired. So peace.